Right there, welcome back. It's absolutely Baltic. I'm outside Old Trafford and this is a transfer review. First up then is a name that we've spoken about now for the last 2 consecutive weeks, and that's Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Now, the AC Milan midfielder was first brought up on, well, not first brought up, but like in this little, you know what I mean, a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about him, and I said about his agents linking him to United, his agents linking him to Inter, his agents trying to boil all the piss on the red bit of the San Siro. That's what he's trying to do, isn't he? Last week, it came out after we interviewed Falk on the Tier 1 podcast that actually there might be something in this. But then 24 hours ago, Fabrizio Romano tweeted, actually they're trying to get him to redo his contract at Milan. Well, colour me fucking shocked. That was exactly how I thought this was going to go down. Now, in between, known bullshitters ESPN also said that there was a 90% chance that United was going to get Çalhanoğlu. 90% my fucking hoop, lads. He's always going to sign a new fucking deal with them. Although, like I said, free is a price that I'm sure the Glazers would like. Can't see this one happening. Couldn't see it happening last week. Couldn't see it happening the week before. It now goes back down to a 1 out of 10. Next up, Camavinga. Now, do like Camavinga. Think he's a really good player. Supposedly, he's on the way out of Rennes because he's only got 18 months left on his deal. A few months ago, £68 million for a figure just completely pulled out of someone's arse was the fee that was being quoted. Now it's more like £45 million, according to both AS and the Daily Star, who, let's be honest, that means AS because the Star went, oh, there's a bit of United news. Let's steal it. £45 million for him. I think he's worth taking a gamble on that, to be honest. I don't think we've necessarily got a player like him either coming through the academy or in the squad at the moment. He has got first team experience. He does look like he's ready. He's even got international experience. So I think £45 million is not really a gamble. The only thing what throws all of this is that we've got some unbelievable bargains of late. And by some I mean Bruno Fernandes. £40 million for him makes everybody else look a ridiculous price. Like when we was looking at, we might be able to get Jack Grealish for 40 million, but if they stay up they want 80 million. You're like, well, 40 million's a good price for Jack Grealish. 80 million, twice what you got for Bruno Fernandes. No deals really start making sense if you try and apply the Bruno Fernandes pricing logic over them. But I think 45 million is a good price for Camavinga. Do I think it's happening? Doesn't feel like it. It just feels like one of a bunch of up-and-coming players that United are going to get constantly linked to. Right now, I can't feasibly give it more than a 3 out of 10. Next up, we've got Denis Zakaria. Supposedly, United see him as a replacement for Matic. I think we need a replacement for Matic. The article does also go on and state that Manchester City see him as a replacement for Fernandinho, and Chelsea would like him as well. And then that's what stood out to me. I was like, Chelsea, they know they can't have 100 players, right? They know that they have to let... Anyway, United are definitely lacking in that area. Again, like Camavinga, it's a player that we can definitely do with someone in that mould. I don't necessarily think we've got anyone that's as ready coming through the academy just yet in that sort of position. I think James Garner, Dylan Levitt, they could potentially do a job, but I think there's a little bit more time needed for both of those guys to get that opportunity. But it's also in the MEN, which means that it's absolute bollocks. And it doesn't seem like there's anything in this at the moment. Again, much like Camavinga, it feels like they're all just covering bases. Yeah. Oh, we mentioned him. Yeah, we mentioned him. Yeah, we mentioned him. You mentioned fucking everyone. Of course you're going to get one right if you mention everyone. Dicks. So right now, Zakaria, fucking 1 out of 10. A little bit of Brexit news. Hey, didn't think this was the political paddock, did you? Well, it kind of is when it comes to transfers. Because of the oncoming absolute shit show that Brexit became, United are now no longer allowed to sign under 18s from overseas. Fucking nice one. Which means the likes of Paul Pogba, Tahith Chong, Timothy Fosu-Mensah, Nishan Burkhardt, players like that would never have been given the opportunity that they got at Manchester United because you're not allowed to sign them. And that's just recent players. When you talk about PK, Rossi, people like that, all of these players also wouldn't have got their opportunity at United because now we are no longer allowed to sign them. Now, I do know that one of United's policies is the absolute cream of local talent and the best under 18s, under 17s, under 16s from across the world. That's a policy at United that they've been working on. people like Puigmal and stuff like that, wanted by Barcelona and Real Madrid. United managed to snatch him up. Now, it's not yet happened for the likes of Puigmal, but this is one of those where you have to, for a lot of coconuts, a lot of balls, or a lot of balls, a lot of coconuts even, to win a fish. So, it's just a numbers game. Not every single signing that you make at 16 is going to go on and become the new Paul Pogba or whatever. But you have to go through the process of doing them. Now, United are not going to be allowed to sign any. We're also only going to be able to sign up to 3 under-21s from overseas. So that means, guess what, fuckface? No Ronaldo. People like that's not going to happen anymore. And a total of 6 signings in full. Now, actually, doesn't really fucking bother United because it's not what we're about. We don't like to spend loads of money on players all the time and reinforce the team, do we? It's not what we do. But I wonder if the likes of Pellistri, if the likes of Diallo, and we've also signed we signed a handful of youngsters, a couple of lads from Spain and that, for the under-18s this season. If they're saying a grand total of 6 signings, well, I guess it won't include under-18s now anyway, because you're not allowed to sign any. But if that is like, you're only allowed to sign 6 players full stop in a season, well, that's fucking bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. This whole Brexit thing's bad on every level anyway. But from a football fan perspective, I haven't seen a single positive for it yet. It's nonsense. So, rate it out of 10. Oh, 10 out of 10, it's absolutely shafting us. That was the ins. This is the outs. Local newspapers in the Toon over there in that there Newcastle, up there, it's colder, are saying Steve Bruce has got his eye on Brandon Williams. He needs a little bit of reinforcement in the fullback area. His close relationship with Mickey Phelan is something that they're hoping to try and squeeze this one through. I actually think it'd be a good move for Brandon. I think with some of the competition that's been bought in, the likes of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who he's not going to shift at right back, he came onto the scene, he did really well. He needs regular game times to continue the development that he's already started to have, and I think going somewhere like Newcastle, where he could feasibly play week in, week out, or at least be the first choice off the bench, would be a fantastic opportunity for him to go and really establish himself as a Premier League level footballer. Is there anything in it? Doesn't feel like there's anything in it properly just yet, but I do think they're right, that close relationship between Mike Phelan and Steve Bruce, and actually there's not there's not a lot of opportunities from at fullback that we couldn't cover with the rest of the personnel, barring a massive injury crisis. I think it makes a lot of sense for him to happen. So even though it doesn't feel like it's happening yet, by the time we do this show next week, that could have all changed and it might even be like all sorted out by then. So this one could move really fast. Doesn't feel like there's a lot in it. Literally one article right now, but I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. I expect this to climb as we get all the way through December. But that's it from me. I'm pissing freezing. I'm going having a Bovril. I'll see you in the next one. Laters.
Head over to stretfordpaddock.bigcartel.com and check out the Paddock merch. And for a short time, you can get 20% off orders with 2 items or more using the code Paddock20. Go get on it.